Good morning. Welcome to a second run of the morning outlook. Apologies earlier on that I'm not sure why the sound wasn't working, but hopefully this time it's working properly. I'd used a different bit of software yesterday and it looks like it has managed to switch the sound off. Anyway, let's run through this quickly then. And first things first, looking at the fundamentals coming out today, there isn't much as the EU economic forecast coming out at 10 o'clock. It may create a bit of volatility around that, subject to how pessimistic things are, or bullish, come to think of it. And then in the afternoon, we've got the weekly unemployment claims. These do not normally have any effect on the market, so let's then look at and stick with the technicals. So technically wise then this morning, and second attempt, so I do apologise. The euro here, it's well, yesterday a bit of a graveyard doji sitting there, gravestone doji even. It's looking a tad on the softish side, but really consolidation around these highs here. Yesterday I was looking for an opportunity on a retrace to buy in, but it never got back to the sort of level I was looking at around 2096. Just never got there. Just looking at this price action here, it's so inconclusive where it sits at the moment. I'm looking. I mean, it's 60-minute 50, just holding things up as it is. Is that going to hold? Well, we'll see. Maybe on the bullish side of things, a break above this trend line that I drew on here earlier may be the option. A break of the 50. Well, I'm looking for it to run back, maybe even as far as that 4-hourly 21 now. So that would be a potential buy side of me. Just got to watch though if it was to run down there, I mean, it will confirm a lower high in, and well, we may get a bit more correction, but we'll just see how it reacts if it gets down to that level. But would still like to see it down there. Anyway, moving on then to looking at the pound dollar. Pound is yesterday again put some new since 2018 highs in, so it's continued its route there. Sold off a little bit later, didn't manage to hold on to everything. It was one of the strongest pairs out there at the moment. Just looking at its 4-hourly now, it's put this sort of quite bearish looking move in terms of the lower high being confirmed. Have we got more downside? Well, there's potential on this to correct a bit more. I think looking at it, it's, as I say, just looks a bit softer with a lower high there. Has broken its 60-minute 50, but the thing with these, when they break a moving average, then pull back, and next bar comes up and off it goes, and you just think, well, yeah, it's just found support into the 60-50, but it does, as I say, it's broken the prior lows there. Just looks to me like it might have a little bit more downside coming through there. Waiting for the upside, well, maybe a break of the highs there, but it won't probably give too much meat in the upside potential for today at least. But at the moment, as I said, it's looking more bearish anyway. The yen, well, looking at the yen back into its daily 21, daily 100 sort of area, managed to get a little bit of a bounce, and it looks now like it's just softening against the US dollar, just coming through a little bit stronger. As I was saying earlier on, it's a bit no man's land here. Normally when you get consolidation around a low, you expect a continuation to the downside, but this key reversal bar that sort of came in on yesterday morning, just the euro had one as well in the opposite direction, and they just give a bit of doubt into the market. So the market didn't follow through immediately on that. It then just sort of dithered, and it's sort of that risk off sort of situation where you see the market sort of moving towards normally the dollar, and in this case it seemed that the yen sort of benefited a little bit maybe from it. But at the moment, maybe we've got more upside coming through on this. Aussie dollar, again, similar-ish to the euro. It's got a bit more legs through the Asian session so far, but selling at the moment, and we've just sort of seen this early morning pullback now. Again, if this starts, it's just got these markets just got a bit of a feeling that we may have a little bit more of a correction. The S&Ps yesterday didn't do so well, and they pulled back towards the end there and gave a negative bar. So you just sort of think, well, okay, that's money moving back maybe towards the dollar, but we'll see. Aussie dollar at the moment getting quite, say, more of a retrace here. A break of that nest of moving averages may see a more a bigger sell-off, but it has been over the period for quite some period now one of the stronger markets. So I'm not particularly looking to short it, but it's looking back on the dailies, it looks like it's still got some further upside there. So maybe one to just keep clear of for me. Canadian dollar, this was pitching up a little bit earlier on. It's managed to continue its ride with oil prices being strong. It's sort of a benefit the Canadian dollar. You're looking at the 4 hourlies here, lower highs, lower lows all the way through, looking solid there. Looking at the shorter time frames, intermediate time frames, iffy. I mean, at the moment there's no reason to say this isn't going to continue to the downside, but well, what would make it look a little bit different if it again breaking through the nest of moving averages, 3 moving averages, key moving average, the 821.34 all sitting there, maybe we'll see a bit more correction. It's holding on pretty well. Looking elsewhere then, quickly, before I do that, a couple of markets that you guys like me to look at. I'll look at the Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen is sitting there. Let's come back to dailies there. The Aussie, as I say, Aussie's been holding up quite well, and to me it just looks like it could just continue this sort of move to the upside. It's done pretty well. And it just looks like got more upside at the moment, so but not an opportunity necessary to buy unless you want to be buying on a break of the highs there. Aussie New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar was the softest yesterday, and well, we saw that sort of through these markets here, and the Aussie continuing to just sort of take this next shove up. As I was talking about this yesterday, it had a solid old move down originally with the New Zealand dollar gaining against the Aussie. Aussie not really struggling. Although it was doing pretty well against the US dollar at the time. We saw this retracement. At the moment, I do wonder if this is another bigger shove of a wave upwards with the New Zealand dollar just losing a bit of favour. S&Ps, well, picking up again this morning by looks of things. Yesterday and the day before, a couple of sort of really indecisive candles there. It's consolidating and it's holding. It's maybe that wedge pattern there sitting there, and it's looking like it wants to break out the highs. Maybe we have got more upside here, and we'll see dollar selling, and we'll get a continuation of this. I'm not one for wanting to sell these S&Ps at these highs. I would like to see a bigger correction. Yesterday, there's an amazing correction that sort of told there. The inflation data, obviously good. Low inflation is good for the equity markets, and we saw that sort of happen. But we saw it not too long afterwards just roll back. Okay, like the Tesla taking a bit of a hit on the stocks, and some people getting a bit of a jitters on the tech stocks. Well. At the moment it's pushing up there, and well, it may just continue in that road, but we'll see what happens when the US market opens properly later this afternoon. Gold picking up earlier on, it's back into its again cluster of moving averages. The way it's been just chopping both sides of this sort of area, the moving average is almost going straight through horizontally through the middle of here. Still remains on sort of the bearish side of those, of course. A break above them would be a lot more bullish for gold as it sits at the moment. Well, he's trying. Again, a weaker dollar would help the case for the gold price to be pushing up at this stage. Just consolidation around here. However you look at it, it's just a longer consolidation on the 4 hourly, so hourly rather. Okay. Silver still, I'll just cover this very briefly, still sort of trying to push its way up there, just sold off over the last couple of days though, and just looks a bit of a slower move. I would put this regression channel, as I said yesterday, just as it's more of a guided route to where we may see these prices move. Okay, silver, it still looks. I mean, the forecasts for it by some of the bigger banks, which also I'm suspicious of, was suggesting sort of $30 towards the end of the year. Well, the rate it's going up like this, it could stay within this sort of range, sort of area, and continue and just do just that by the end of the year. I think it just got a bit ahead of itself, unless we see the dollar selling off quickly. Just briefly, oil here just continues to ride the waves, and who am I to get in the way of it? As I said, I am suspicious about the move in the longer term, but short term is doing well, and if you're on the crest of that wave, just keep going. But I think there'll be a correction at some stage, but with the cuts coming in from Saudi, it's really helped this market for now. Okay, finally finishing off then with Bitcoin. For those Bitcoin holders out there, bit of profit taking coming in yesterday by the looks of things. No real surprises. There have been traders coming in at around about the 35,000 sort of area to see nearly 15,000 gain on their money. I'm sure there'll be some profit coming out and closing some of those positions, but longer trend. I mean, I'll start putting a regression line on this soon, and you'll just see that it's actually, probably on the upper side of that at the moment. It may just correct itself back a little bit more, but in the main, these dips may be opportunities for some still to get in. Okay, I will leave it there. I wish you so I've looked at silver. Yep, John done that. Pound yen. Pound yen, I'll look at the pound yen for you briefly. I'm just looking at the pound yen. He says pound yen would be good today. Here we go. So from a daily, it's just okay, bit of divergence. So it's the first thing that sort of I pick up on here, but it's had a lovely run. It's been moving quite solidly. Now the divergence doesn't really sort of trigger unless it breaks the low of that inside bar in the old Wells Wilder's world of looking at divergences, etc. At the moment, coming down the time frame here, well, yep, it's just softened up a little bit, but the pound has been running so strongly out there. I do wonder if it will just consolidate and push coming down there. There's a break of these lows here would suggest a lower high, and it's the cracks in the move, but at the moment it's not broken this prior sort of more significant low there. So as I say, it's still, for me, towards the upside there. If it can hang in there, a break of this low really changes the picture a little bit, and as I say, it's the cracks in the move, but we've seen those before, a bit of a correction and off it's gone again, and even here corrected back off again. So maybe the 34.50 may pick it up again, but it has been running, and you just look at it from a daily point of view and it looks quite good. I know some people just want to be selling it at this stage because of the divergences that are running through there, but and I'm sure there's divergences across. Oh no, MACD's not showing a divergence, so it's more my aggressive RSI on there. Okay, that's it for me. I wish you a great day. Apologies once again for no audio on the first attempt. Thank goodness you got it on the second one, eh? I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.